What really happens when you die? At some point, every single one of us asks the same question: what actually happens when we die? Despite living in a world driven by science and technology, belief in an afterlife is still incredibly common. Surveys over the past decade have shown that a majority of people in Western countries believe that some part of us, continues on after the body stops working. Many believe in heaven, many believe in hell, others believe in reincarnation, and some think there's simply nothing. Today, we're going to explore both sides: what science tells us happens to the body, and what philosophy and religion suggest might happen beyond it. Let's begin with the part we can actually measure: the scientific reality of dying. From a medical standpoint, death is defined in two primary ways: cardiac death, when the heart stops beating and blood no longer circulates; brain death, when all electrical activity in the brain permanently ceases. Brain death is considered irreversible. That's the point where medicine draws the line. Interestingly, people who have been resuscitated after cardiac arrest often report unusual experiences. Some describe awareness of their surroundings. Others speak of moving toward a bright light. These are known as near-death experiences. However, there's a very small window for survival, typically around 4 to 6 minutes without oxygen before brain damage becomes permanent. If revival doesn't happen, we move from clinical death to biological death. And this is where things become less poetic. What happens to the body after death? The moment life ends, the body begins a series of automatic processes. First, the muscles completely relax. This includes every muscle, even the ones we don't like to think about. Because of this, the bladder and bowels may empty. It's not dramatic, it's just biology. As gases escape from the body, small sounds can occur. Medical professionals sometimes report hearing sighs or groans, but these aren't signs of life. They're simply air moving through the vocal cords. Within a few hours, gravity pulls blood downward to the lowest parts of the body. This creates dark purple discoloration called livor mortis. At the same time, the body begins cooling, a process known as algor mortis, until it matches the surrounding temperature. Then comes rigor mortis. Between 2 to 6 hours after death, muscles stiffen as chemical changes lock them into place. After that, decomposition begins. Without oxygen and circulation, cells break down. Bacteria, especially those already living in the gut, begin consuming tissues from the inside out. This stage, known as putrefaction, produces gases and a very strong odor. Over time, soft tissues liquefy, skin loosens and blisters. Hair and nails appear longer, though they're not actually growing. The skin is retracting. If left exposed, a body can become largely decomposed within weeks. Underground, the process may take years. Eventually, only bones remain, and even they slowly return to the earth. It's not glamorous, but it's natural. It's part of the biological cycle of life. But what about consciousness? Here's where things get interesting. Some people who have been revived describe vivid experiences. Others report something very different: pure blackness. No thoughts, no awareness, just absence. Philosophers have debated this for centuries. René Descartes argued that the mind and body are separate, suggesting the soul might survive physical death. Friedrich Nietzsche proposed the idea of eternal recurrence, the concept that every moment of your life repeats itself infinitely. In Buddhism, there is the wheel of samsara, the cycle of death and rebirth. According to this belief, we are continuously reborn until we reach enlightenment and achieve nirvana. In Christianity and Islam, death is followed by judgment, leading either to eternal reward or eternal punishment. And then there's another possibility: nothing. No light, no fire, no repetition, just silence. So, what actually happens? Scientifically, we can describe what happens to the body in extraordinary detail. But what happens to you, your awareness, your identity, your sense of self, remains one of the greatest unanswered questions in human history. Is consciousness simply brain activity? Or is it something more? We don't know, and that uncertainty may be what makes life so powerful, because if this is the only life you get, it becomes infinitely valuable. And if it isn't, then how you live might echo far beyond this one existence. Either way, the conclusion is the same. How you live now matters. What do you think happens after death? Heaven? Reincarnation? Eternal return? Nothing at all? Let me know in the comments. And remember, while we can't control when life ends, we can control how we live it.